So in the last video I showed you how I imported the picture into Camera Raw, and from Camera Raw I made adjustments and slider adjustments to the picture, and then I showed you in the second video how I use brushing and cropping tools to make adjustments, and then this is the third video where I opened the image from Camera Raw and it opened it and put it into Photoshop. So from here I'm going to show you what I do in Photoshop. Almost finished with the image. So the first thing that I do as soon as I get in here is go over here to the layer panel and I right click and I duplicate that layer. Sorry. And then I hide the background so that this layer is never affected. I'm always working on a copy of the original layer, so that way the original never gets messed up. Simple as that. That's very simple to do. Just come over here and right click and then start working once you make your copy. So as soon as I make my copy, I come over here and start making adjustments. So one of the first things I do is come to the adjustment panel, and you can actually, if you have it over here, you could do it too. I have mine right here, adjustments. So I'll start with the brightness and contrast and see if I can make anything a little brighter or whatever that I see fit. And most of the time, yeah, a little brightness, it works. Just a little bit. Contrast doesn't. Levels. Vibrance and saturation. More vibrance and more saturation. You can never get tired of these two, can you? And look at them colors. See, as soon as I put this in Photoshop, or I open it in Photoshop, like, yeah, it makes a big difference, because I went through vibrance and saturation before, and now I'm going through vibrance and saturation again. And this is like where my colors start to really make their appearance. Not appearance necessarily, but like the quality of the color actually really looks nice here, like the reds and stuff like that. The drinks on the table. Pretty much those are like the three things: the vibrance, levels, and brightness and contrast are like the three things that I do. Now I will merge those layers together. I can get rid of this one because it's useless. I could delete that layer because this is the layer I'm working off of, and I'm not done with it completely. So now I go to use my brush tool, and from here I make little adjustments to the teeth and the eyes and etc. Brush tool. And I'll bring the opacity down to like maybe 30, sometimes even lower. And this is like going to pretty much, it's going to be like my desaturation for the eyes. I know in Lightroom you could just go to the brush and then have like the iris preset or whatever, but I don't use Lightroom. This is what I use. I use Photoshop. Back off to see how that looks. It looks good from here. Oh yeah, it looks really good. See, the only thing I like about Photoshop is that, see, it's just more technical. I'm just able to do more in Photoshop than I am in Lightroom, and that's why I use this. And for the fact that I do a lot of graphic designing, Photoshop's just the way to go for me. So there's that, and come over. So I'm gonna just make adjustments to everyone's eyes. Sorry about that. Computer kind of went nuts on me for a second. It out, see how it looks, and it looks nice to me. Then there's just his teeth. Computer. What happened? It's gonna be working. Yeah, can't wait till I get that computer built. Doesn't seem to be responding. Okay. back out, see how this looks. And I've never seen nicer teeth before. I don't think I'm gonna mess with glasses, even though I could kind of darken the glare in the glasses. I could darken it and make it look very visible, but that's not what I'm doing. So I'll skip that one. See some teeth. That's where I'll be at. The difference between Photoshop and Lightroom is this. It's like how I'm making these adjustments with the brush is that in Lightroom you have a setting and it has a slider, and it'll be like, okay, where would you like your slider to be? At which percentage? And you'll set that percentage, and that's where it stays at. But with Photoshop, every time that I come over again and again and again, the brighter it's gonna get. See that spot, that. See, every time I click and every time I come over, it's gonna get brighter. So just want to let everyone know that. That's why I prefer Photoshop. Teeth look nice. Got some eyes. Okay. So from that point, things are looking nice. And then I flatten the image, and now this is the background copy. So now from here is where things get really serious, because I have actions. Complete workflow. This is the ones I made. So this is my complete workflow. This is the action, my custom action that I made for, you know, the time that I've been a photographer. This is my little thing that I do. Once I get to this point, I just press play and it does its thing. And first it goes to convert mode. Well, step one, convert mode. It changes it from 18-bit to a 16-bit image. Then it'll duplicate the layer. Then it'll select the copy. It'll make a duplicate layer, which is a background copy. Then it'll select the background copy for me. And then it'll duplicate that layer and make another background copy. And it'll create a Gaussian blur. And I have my radius adjusted to 30 pixels. That's just the way I have it set, because I feel like I've played with it. I've played with it many a times. I went from 10 to 20 to 15 to 18 to 50 to, it's like it came to a point where 30 was just the perfect radius for mine, for me. And then after it makes the blur, it sets the current layer and it sets it to a 30 opacity. So the blur will get set to 30 for opacity. And that's like the softness. That's how I get my picture so soft. Right there. That's it. This action I created through, I used to do these step by step. I used to do them on my own, step by step, taking forever on every image I ever did. And I was like, one day I said, screw this. I'm going to record everything that I do. And I did it really well. So then it creates another background copy, and then it goes through and does some more stuff. It creates a new channel. It adds a mask. It adds a mask because there's going to be some filtering involved. I have noise wear, I have portraiture, I have real grain. So it does a couple of things in here. So I'll actually just go through this and I'll show you exactly how this thing works. So complete workflow. Now press play. Step one. That's how it happens. So now, did you see that? I don't know if you saw that, but a lot changed. And this is where I create a mask. So it already has the brush selected for me. It already has the mask coloring set for me. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm creating a mask for the next set of, actions that I'm about to run. So I'll zoom in a little bit. And basically what I'm about to do is put a mask over the face and the skin, pretty much all the skin and the hair. All the skin and the hair I'm about to mask up. So this is a protection mask so that I can run the other actions that I'm going to run and not affect the skin in certain parts that I don't want to be touched. Hair, I don't want to be touched. If you can see down here, you can see like all these little black markings. That's my mask. That's what, when I run the next action that I've created, it's not going to affect any of the black markings. So now I'm going to go ahead and run the next action, which is step 2 that I've created. And then I press play. So it's going to run portraiture. And all the settings that I have in portraiture that I've custom made myself, it's going to run everything. So this is my second step in my action. Makes a huge difference. The skin's softer, everything around it's more clear. And I could have put a mask on some of these cups and the glass, but I kind of like it, that dreamy, that dream kind of feel to it, that glossy glow, and I like that, so I'm gonna keep it. So then I'll go to step 3, and then I'll run that action. And now it's running noiseware, so all the noise that's in the picture is going to be eliminated, because noiseware is one of the best noise eliminating softwares you can buy. So now everything looks really smooth, like wish I could shoot pictures like this all the time. Like I wouldn't have to come to Photoshop and run all my stuff, but that's not the case. So now, in that step 3, this is what it did. These are the action I created with the step 3. It did all that for me instead of me doing it myself. And then I'll run step 4, which is pretty much going to merge all the layers together and stuff like that, so I don't have to do it myself. So now it's just merged and flattened, and that's what step 4 is. It's pretty much the end of the process. Merge and flatten image, basically. And that is pretty much my workflow from importing into Camera Raw to opening the image in Photoshop and making a couple of adjustments, then running all of my actions, using the brush to saturate eyes and teeth and stuff like that. So that's it. I hope you guys learned something from this video. You could use it. I don't care. I don't care if you use the actions that I used or anything like that. I just hope it helps someone and I could get some feedback. You guys could leave comments below. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you and goodbye.